Welcome back, everybody, to the NECA Ultimate Archive Reviews. In today's review, we are doing what is, in my opinion, one of the absolute top 10 essential NECA Ultimate figures, the Ultimate Leatherface. So, with that being said, let's get in on the packaging. So, at the front of the packaging, we have the original poster art for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, one of the greatest horror movies of all time. Oh, I love this movie. Who will survive and what will be left of him? Yeah, that awesome poster art. I freaking love this box, by the way. We have, man, I forget her name. She was one of the first, she was like the second one to die in the movie. And then, yeah, Leatherface, America's most bizarre and brutal crimes, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. What happened is true. Now the motion picture that is just as real. That is definitely stretching it a little bit. This is not based off of a true story. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's very loosely based off a true story, but the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, NECA Real Toys. And on the back of the box, we have some obligatory product shots, a bunch of pictures of Leatherface right there, and the little bio right there if you'd like to read it. I actually particularly really like this bio. I think this is really well worded. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, NECA Real Toys, and a reopen of the front flat part, and that little tape is just to help it stay closed while I have it on the shelf, because I have this one displayed so people can see it, so they can see the poster for one of my favorite movies of all time. We have a picture of Leatherface right there with I don't even know what to call it, his wall of trophies, really cool there, and then that is actually the backdrop in the back there, and that's where the figure would have sat, surrounded by all of these accessories. Funny thing is, this figure was the second Ultimate figure ever, and in my opinion, it is still to this day one of the probably like top 10 best ones. So with that being said, let's bring out the figure. And here we have Jebediah, or Bobby, or Bubba, I mean not Bobby, or Tommy. Was it, what, there was one movie where his name was Tommy, I think, or Thomas, whatever. Here he is out of the packaging, and he is absolutely fantastic. Like I said before, guys, this is still to this day one of the best and most essential Ultimate figures that NECA has released. This is an absolutely Magnanimous figure. I love it. So, getting in here close on the Magnanimous head sculpt, you go, I absolutely love this head sculpt. Probably one of my top 3 favorite NECA head sculpts of all time. Just look at the detail work in this head sculpt. It is flawless. Look at the teeth, his weird like brace thing around the mask right there in the mouth. He has that little blemish in the mask right there. The stitches going all around right there where the hair connects to the skin part. Oh my gosh, and then the ears like flapping over. They actually flap over. If we actually look right here, you can actually see the ear like flapping over his actual ear right there. Oh my goodness, this head sculpt is like 10 out of 10. The sculpt is just immaculate on it, and the detail is just fantastic. And then you get down into his torso. You've got his shirt and his little tie here. Now you can actually go 2 different ways with the tie. You can either have it tucked in to the shirt like this, or what you can do is you can kind of untuck it from the apron. It's kind of messing with the color of my video there, and you can kind of have it flared out like it is in that one poster of the movie. If I can actually get it out here, my goodness, giving me a hard time. Give me a second here. So there you go, you can have the tie actually out like that, and it is like that in some scenes in the movie and in one of the posters for the movie, but I don't know, I go back and forth with it. I kind of like to have it tucked in, though. I think it looks a little bit better. And then the apron is really well done. This is one of the few figures that NECA has made that actually is a combination of both hard plastic and actually soft goods, rather than the pliable plastic, which is actually present in the shirt here, in his striped shirt, but this is actually completely soft goods, the apron here, and I think it is really nicely done, honestly. I love the apron. I think the blood paint is absolutely fantastic. I think it really comes across well as like blood stains. I think it actually looks really good, and I think this was actually something that is it's different on pretty much all of the other Leatherfaces, because I've seen a couple more and the blood does not look anything like the one that mine looks like. This is right at the packaging. I did not do anything. I did not modify this in any way, but I think it looks really good. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what 100% what goes on with that right there. I don't know if it okay, I cannot speak apparently. Yeah, I just don't think this is exactly the same on every Ultimate Leatherface figure. Now, if we lift up the apron, now you can remove it. I'm not going to do that because I don't think I'd be able to make it look as good as it does right now, but you can remove it if you really wanted to. He doesn't really ever appear like that in the movie, so I don't really know why you'd want to, but you could just untie it at the back here, and you can remove it, and his shirt is completely sculpted under here, but yeah, I mean, it's a lot more boring than the apron is really what brings the whole design together. together. So yeah, I really love the way the apron done, and then the arms here are really nicely done. He does have some like dirt painted onto the forearm there, which looks really good. And you have his like teeth bracelet right there, which is really nicely done as well. Absolutely awesome. It is kind of just painted gold, or you can't really pick out the teeth or anything, but still does look really good. His hands, once again, got some dirt painted on there, some blood also. Once again, over here, very beautifully done. I really love the way it came out. And then the legs, he does have a completely unique sculpt, this figure. He's not sharing the legs from the Freddy's or anything like that. One thing I want to say about the legs that I wanted to make sure I mentioned in here was when I actually got this figure, this leg was actually stuck like this, and it was really stuck. It looked exactly like this. This leg was twisted this way, and this part was twisted this way, right when I got this guy to the packaging, and it was stuck like that forever, man, for as long as I can remember. But I recently actually went in here and fixed it, and it took quite a bit of effort. It took a lot of elbow grease, but I actually was able to get it unstuck. Trust me, it was like obscenely stuck. So yeah, if you get this figure and that's a problem, just be very careful. You don't want to break it or anything, but I was able to fix it, so that is nice. But the sculpt is very nice. The wrinkle work looks really good, and I think his cowboy boots also look pretty good. Once again, you can get and you do get some nice like dirt on the actual cowboy boots right there, which looks really good. So that is the figure itself. Now for your accessories. So first things first, you get the alternate old woman kind of cook mask that he wears in the movie, and this head sculpt I do like, but it doesn't really work that well on this figure, because in the scene where he has this mask on in the movie, he also has a blue apron. So if you really wanted to, you could take this apron off and dye it blue, and maybe try and replicate that scene. Maybe buy 2 of this Ultimate Leatherface, and you can do that with one of them and keep the other one standard. I have constantly toyed with the idea of doing that. Maybe someday I will. But I mean, it does look good. It's just not very accurate to the movie, because in that scene where he has this mask, he does have a blue apron. I think it would have been better if NECA had also included a blue apron to go along with this, because once again, this is removable. You can just untie it and take it off. So if NECA had just thrown in a blue version of this apron, I think that would have been really cool. I'm not going to complain too much about it, though. This is a really nice head sculpt. I do like to have this one as on a headstand next to this figure, but yeah, it is a nice head sculpt. I do think it looks pretty good. You can get some nice detail work. I do think it's a little bit, I don't think it's nearly as good as the default one, because I mean, it's, you know, this is just what you think of when you think of Leatherface. But I definitely do think they did a good job, especially down here. This looks really creepy right here when it's like stitched together at the mouth. Yeah, really nicely done. You can even see like the strings holding the back of it together. Still a very nicely done head sculpt in my opinion. So that is that accessory. And of course, you can't be Leatherface without his tried and true chainsaw. And this is a really nicely done chainsaw. However, unfortunately for me, and I'm not going to take points off of this because this was entirely my fault, this chainsaw has lived a pretty rough life, as you can see right here. Yeah, broke numerous times, super glued back together, and yet that super glue just did not hold this thing together, man. I guess the plastic was just not a fan of the super glue that I use. But yeah, lived a cruel life, this poor chainsaw accessory. I would like to replace this at some point. If I ever get a chance to get another one of these, I would definitely probably display him with that other chainsaw, because this one, yeah, very broken. It does have a little, like, a twist at the bottom here, which is a little bit weird because it is supposed to be, you know, connected to this. But yeah, really beautifully done. I love the way it looks. The blood, I think, looks absolutely fantastic on this piece. Really awesome. I wonder why NECA never did a quarter scale Leatherface. I would have gotten it. They could do one. They still got the license, man. Make a quarter scale Leatherface. But yeah, to get this in his hand, all you gotta do is, it is kind of difficult, but I have, what I do is you just kind of take this part's really easy, getting this handle in. You just clip this little middle part into the, hook it into the thumb, and then you can just push the rest of it down like that. The hard part is getting this thing in his other hand, and the way I do it is I open his hand really far, pry it open, use some elbow grease, and then get it into the hand before it closes back up, and then I just let it close back up around it. So there you go. It does take a little bit of working to get it in there and get it to look good. But once you get it, it looks fantastic, and you can get a number of really great displays with this. You can either have him just resting at his side with his chainsaw, or of course he can go full on Leatherface mode. Come on, there we go. Come on up. Like I said, like I said, this thing can be a little bit frustrating. There is a thinner part down here at the bottom of the chainsaw if you want to go that route, but I find it pretty easy to just pry the hands open. Well, or that could happen, but that's an easy fix. Pry the hands open. Oh my goodness, let me figure this out. So there you go. You can achieve some more Leatherfacey like poses. Now moving on. The next accessory you get is his mallet, and I actually think this is a really great accessory because, my goodness, this thing gets a lot of screen time. Like, really, if you watch the movie, he kills a lot of people with this mallet. Like, this thing does get a lot of screen time. I would kind of consider this probably Leatherface's, like, secondary weapon, almost as much as it's almost as iconic to me as the chainsaw. I know that might sound crazy since the movie is called the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but honestly, I think of Leatherface using the hammer just as much as I think of him using the chainsaw. So I really like this accessory as well. It's beautifully done, as you can see here. Really beautifully done. And if you want to have him holding it, which I'm always changing this figure up, giving him the mallet or the chainsaw. This is actually a little bit tricky. So what you want to do to get this in his hand, there is a little bit of explaining to do here. If you look at his hand, he actually has. You can see the way the hand is shaped. You can't just put this in his hand because it will just fall down. The way you have to do this is take it and then grind it right up against the ridge of the fingers inside and push it in, and it will actually go into a little slot. It will actually slot into the hand and actually hold there. Unlike, so once again, showing you once again, if you just stick it in the hand, it just falls right in. But if you do that, what I just said, and push it against the ridge of the fingers, it actually goes into a little crevice, and he holds it really well. It actually grips it very tightly. So yes, there is actually a little bit to it than just sticking it in the hand there. But yeah, very cool accessory there as well. And that does go for this accessory as well. This is his cleaver, which is also very cool. And this would definitely be a nice companion piece if you did want to make something with this. If you maybe wanted to make a blue apron for him, display him with this and this, it would make a pretty cool display for him. But once again, just like with the mallet, if you just put it in his hand, it's not really going to hold too well. But if you put it in the ridge and ride it into it, it actually holds really well, as you can see there. So yeah, really nice. I really like the way they made that work, because I think it just works really well. So yeah, there's that. And you also get this little baby knife, which is kind of cool. It has like a bone for the handle, which is pretty cool. I don't even really remember him using this in the movie. I think this might have been in the scene when, oh man, I can't even remember. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, pretty cool little accessory to have right there. I do like the fact that they included this. I've actually never even tried to have him holding this. I've never really been interested in it. So this is my first time actually trying this. And it looks like you might be able to do the exact same thing with the... Oh no, actually, this one is a little bit difficult, ain't it? Because you got this weird zip tie thing on it. Like, literally, there's a zip tie on the bone, on the handle. I don't know, this one has always been a little bit weird. Maybe you can use the other hand for it. Yeah, this knife always was... yeah, there we go. So yeah, with enough perseverance, you'll be able to get him to hold it. But I don't really think anybody's going to be displaying Leatherface with a little baby knife. And then the final accessory you get is a meat hook right here, which is pretty cool. What I like to do with this is, I actually use this for my saw display, because I think it works for that too. But if I ever do end up making a Texas Chainsaw shelf, which I would do in a heartbeat, by the way, if NECA gives us more Ultimate Leatherfaces, I would in a heartbeat dedicate an entire shelf to Texas Chainsaw. But at the moment, this is on my saw shelf. But I just have a chain attached to the top of the shelf, and I hook it onto the chain, and it just hangs there, and it looks pretty good, I think. So yeah, really cool accessory right there as well to throw in there. And I gotta be honest, just like the Part 1 Ultimate Freddy Krueger, I do think that this figure does lack some accessories. Like, if you compare this to almost any Ultimate figure that came out in, like, 2019 or 2018, it doesn't really hold a candle in terms of the accessories, but it's still a pretty nice little array, in my opinion. Okay, for articulation, the head sculpt is a peg going into the skull. Head can go up that far, down that far, a little bit of tilt, full 360 right there. Arms can do a full 360, can go up that far. 90-degree bend at the elbow, actually a little bit less than 90. Swivel at the elbow right there. Hands have a ball joint in the actual hand itself, so you can get some nice movement there, a little bit of down. Swivel. The torso actually doesn't have a joint in the actual torso itself, but there is a joint in the waist, so you can get a little bit of turning and a little bit of back and forth on the waist there. Legs can go forward that far, back that far. Knees can do a very, very low bend, not even close to 90. You can do a little bit of swivel at the knee as well. And then the feet are on a ball joint going into the leg, so you do get a very minor amount of ankle pivot. Actually, that's a little bit better than some other NECA figures. Still not that great, and you do get a little bit of swivel right there as well. So with that being said, let's get in on the comparisons. Man, it's ridiculous how much easier this guy is to stand up when he doesn't have his fucking legs stuck. Alrighty, here he is with the ultimate Freddy vs. Jason Voorhees. It's a big fucking figure, man. Let me pull out a little bit here. Here he also is with the remake Jason. I don't really know why, I just felt like it. I like this figure a lot. And here he is with one of the classic Ultimate Jasons, the Part 4, right there. Here he is with the Ultimate Part 3 Freddy Krueger. And here he is with the Ultimate Halloween 2 and Halloween 2018, Michael Myers. Here he is with the Ultimate Version 2 1990 Pennywise. Here he is with the Ultimate Chucky. Here he is with the Hellraiser Series 1 Pinhead. Cannot wait for Ultimate Pinhead, guys. Here he is with Jigsaw. And lastly, here he is with the Toonie Terrors Leatherface. It's like a baby with his papa. Alright, now for our showcase. Guys, I went to get a drink and came back and my figure was gone and strung up in some weird, like, warehouse or some shit. I don't even know what happened. But getting into my final verdict on the Ultimate Leatherface, this is, like I said, one of my absolute favorite NECA Ultimate figures. It is an absolute must-have and essential piece of any NECA collector's collection. This is a 10 out of 10, no questions asked. A little bit lacking on the accessories, but not enough to make me want to drop this guy by a number. I think this figure is fan-fucking-tastic, and if NECA does ever get around to giving us more Ultimate Leatherfaces, I think that they will knock it out of the park just the same. So with that being said, thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more NECA content, and this is DK Guillotine, signing out!